So now let's cover the border radius groups. These group of classes are going to be quite important in the project that we're going to be implementing. So let's cover them. So we have rounded none. This basically doesn't have any border radius for the borders of the element that we're using. We have rounded SM. This basically gives it a small border radius of 0.125 rem. And we have rounded, which basically gives it a more border radius of 0.25 rem. And as we go down, the border radius becomes more effective, and it gives it more a higher border radius basically. And if we want to have, like, for example, we can also specify the actual borders that we want to target. So if we want to do for example, do only the top border radius, we can do that using T. And so we can basically specify the exact border that we want to do. So if we want to do the right one, we could do R. If we want to do the bottom one, we could do B. And we can also specify the size of it. So yeah, it's very easy to use. So now if we scroll down, we can basically look at these examples. So as you can see, you have rounded small, the border radius is very minimal. And if you have, like, we have rounded, and we have MD and LG. LG, as you can see, has the highest border radius. So we have pills and circles as well. So we can use rounded full to give us a circle, and we can have so as you can see, the border radius is really strong with the rounded full. Now, and we also have rounded none. So if we already have a border radius for a specific class, we can remove that using rounded none. As you can see over here, the border radius is gone. And we can also specify a specific border radius from the element, so like top or right or bottom border radius, and we can basically control them and put in the exact border radius that we want. The width, as you can see, is very easy, self-explanatory. You just put in the border, and then you put in the number with it. The higher the number, the more width the border will have. And if you want to target a specific side, you can do that using, like, border T4 or border R. T for top, R for right, L for left, so on and so forth. And as you can see over here, we have the different border width. The higher the border width, the more the width increases, as you can see. So same with individual size, just like we explained. You can basically target it using the specific side. So T for top, R for right, B for bottom, L for left. And as you can see, we can actually target those border width. Let's have a div, and let's basically give it some border radius using, for example, rounded SM. So let's give it a height of 12 and a width of 12, and make it red. And then let's do rounded SM. As you can see, we have a really small border radius. Let's increase that and use rounded LG. And as you can see, we have a much stronger border radius. Now let's use rounded full to make it a complete circle. As you can see, now it's a circle. And now after this rounded full, let's do rounded none to remove the border radius. As you can see, that works. And now let's target the top of this border radius. Let's just give it let's just do rounded T, and we'll do 3XL. So as you can see, the top border radius is really strong, and there's no border radius on the bottom. So now let's give it some border width. We just have to do, like, border 0, border 2, for example. That gives it a border width, as you can see. Now let's do border the right side. We want to give it only, so we can do border right side 8, and that should basically give us only the right side border. And now let's do, for example, border indigo 600, and that should give it a color as well. So the right side now is colored with the color indigo and a shade of 600. So yeah, that basically, you can basically change that using, for example, border top, border left, border bottom. You can target the specific border you want. Yeah, and that basically covers everything that is important in regards to the borders.